full disclosure, Mark LaMonaco, Bubba Ray, came to me, and I think the first time or the first few times they used it, they didn't realize or didn't think about it. But he did come to me and said, hey, he apologized, asked how I was about them using it. And my exact words were to him some along the lines of, hey, do whatever you have to do to get over out there. It's fine. So, Bubba was very professional with it. Absolutely no heat whatsoever. But I've never been asked that question, and it surprised me because, the three fingers was so ubiquitous to the triple threat. But nobody's ever asked that question. So great question. What was his name again?
Chris.
Thanks from Chris for the question. But yeah, Bubba was very professional with it, and I'm proud of everything that Bubba and Devon have done in the business. They've really proven themselves. Outside of what I think on paper would appear to be a difficult gimmick to get over, and they did a great job with it because they're both damn good workers.
It is strange, though, like when you really think about it. I don't know why more people didn't think of it. Obviously, you haven't been asked that question before. Obviously, I didn't think of that question either. It just came from, basically just came from somebody who obviously had that thought for a long time. I don't know why more wrestling fans haven't kind of thought about it. But when you think about it with three fingers and that, do you think that if they weren't in ECW, that you would have been annoyed by it? Was it okay because they were in ECW along with you?
I wasn't annoyed by it because Bubba was professional and came and asked. If somebody just started doing it, I think we all know the franchise would have fired something back. It's the same thing with John Cena. A few times that I met him, he's always seemed like a good guy, very professional. I never would want to just start calling myself the Nature Boy or the Living Legend or whatever other gimmick, gimmick name out there. So to me, it's unprofessional to go out and do it that way. The way that Bubba and Devon did it was very professional. And aside from that, they were friends of mine. We were all working in ECW to get the company over. And, if in any way that I didn't think that the triple threat especially was boiled down to just a hand symbol. You know what I mean? It was, we'd had multiple incarnations of it, but of course the Bam Bam Chris Candido franchise Francine incarnation is the one that made the biggest impact because of the time that was involved and the timing of the company, to be quite honest. But yeah, it's a great question, and Bubba and Devon have done a phenomenal job to put their stamp on the wrestling business. Kudos to them.
Now, who does the hand signal better, the triple threat or Team 3D, the Dudley Boyz?
Well, Shane Douglas does it much better than both of them. We all know that.
Now, with the triple threat, obviously doing the hand signal, obviously it kind of came from the Four Horsemen. Did you ever get any slack from any horsemen saying, the 4 and the 3, the hand signal is has anybody ever brought it up to you as far as you guys first doing the triple threat hand signal?
No. Arn and I had a conversation one time on a flight from either San Diego or Los Angeles. I think it was San Diego back to Pittsburgh, a red-eye flight. And we were both up in first class and sitting right next to each other. And, my biggest concern was that I had always thought at that point that Arn and Ric Flair, were still close. And this is around the time that I hadn't seen Tully in quite some time. And we started talking, and, Arn said, hey, you got no heat with me, I don't want to speak too much for Arn, but he had gone into a little bit more in depth and had given me a little bit more insight, which, quite frankly, surprised and shocked me a bit. But no, look, the Four Horsemen, the four fingers up, is so ubiquitous and so universally known. Not just the professional wrestling fans. You can go to, probably 50% of the population on the planet and hold up four fingers and say, oh, the Four Horsemen. I don't think they ever felt any way insecure about the mark that they made in wrestling. And the three, the triple threat, the reason I came up with that when I devised the idea for the triple threat was if it used to take 4 guys to do it, 3 can now do what 4 used to do. So the number 3 was chosen very strategically from me just to sort of, take a dig at that. But there was, never any conversation with anybody about the triple threat sign to the 4 horsemen sign. I think they're all quite secure, like I said, with the impact they've had on professional wrestling.